This episode is brought to you by Geek Squad, helping old people everywhere reset their laptops.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Podcast Assemble, the show where you come for your rambling geeky download. My name's Tommy, and I am delighted, as always, to be joined by my friend and co-host who is across the pond. It's our resident IMF agent of the pod, DL. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man.
You're in the shadows this week, hiding around corners.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows.
Drowning.
What is it? But people I'll never know and those I hold dear.
I'm not sure that was the line.
Something like that.
You specifically hold dear?
Yeah, that I hold dear. Was that in all the movies?
I don't
Or did they
think
just
so.
make that up? I feel like there's a lot of stuff they just add in and act as if it's been here for a while. And I'm like, I don't think it has.
We are definitely going to talk about this because there's a lot of things like that in this movie that I was like, was that a thing? Did they just make that up for this one?
I don't think it was. I think they're just counting on me not going back and auditing.
Yes. We have some more recently, and I absolutely do not remember that line in any of them, to be quite frank. But if you guys haven't guessed, we're this week talking about the new Mission Impossible movie, Final Reckoning. And if you really want to know what we thought about Dead Reckoning, this was meant to be Dead Reckoning Part 2, and they realized people don't care about Part 2, so they just changed it to The Final Reckoning. So there is just a movie out there in the world called Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, and that's it. There's no Part 2. It just moves on to Final Reckoning.
That was simply a marketing choice?
Well, it was meant to be...
it actually...
yeah, right. Sorry, the naming change. Yeah, pretty much a marketing choice.
Yeah, it actually might be off-putting to people.
Part 1 and Part 2, I could see that. But if you
Yeah.
guys want to listen to our thoughts on the original Dead Reckoning Part 1, go back and listen to episode 110. That was 80 episodes ago. Can you believe that was that long ago? That was like a COVID film.
Yeah, it was. It was. Didn't it bring COVID back or something? Bring movies back? Not COVID.
Don't say
back.
bring COVID back. Nobody wants
it
that.
did too. There was super spreader events from it, but both. It was both a bring Hollywood back to making movies.
Do you remember all those times when Tom Cruise was on set flipping out at people for talking without masks on and stuff, and he was just he was going full Tom Cruise. Let's say that much. I don't think the world will ever forget that version of him. Anyway, how are you, mate? How have you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm doing my best here.
Just living your life.
Trying to stay up to date with all the content.
There's a lot of content right now.
Yeah,
so much.
But it's been good. There's been good stuff.
In fact, too much content. I've given up, DL. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, and I'm going to become a hermit.
That seems foolish. You miss out on so much beautiful stuff, oh my God.
I mean, this podcast is going to become pretty irrelevant pretty quickly.
True. If it wasn't already.
What's been happening?
Yeah, dude, I've been, what have I done? Lately, I went to the ye old Cheshire pub. I don't know if you've heard of this place. It's this pub.
Famous?
It's been around for since the 1400s or some crazy.
I mean, that's every pub in the UK. Literally.
It's not every pub. Not every pub is that old. That is fucking old.
Yeah, that is real old.
It's essentially it used to be
Game of Thronesian.
You could you go in and you see where the horses were put. And that's now a bar.
Really?
It's that old.
And the hound's in the back eating chicken.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, but it wasn't there.
That scene is that is the best scene in all Game of Thrones for me.
It's up there.
mean, non-action scene.
It's
a non-action scene. That for me, where he just is I have to eat every fucking chicken in here. It just gets me every time.
And it's also
so
just very on brand for him.
Yes. That is the most on brand for him. I really liked him in that. He's replacing the dude who died in Star Wars, I think. The guy who played the Hound. This is really bad podcasting. There is a guy who was in Ahsoka, Ray Stevenson, I believe, he was this gray Jedi dude, and he passed away.
They're
replacing
awesome.
with a Hound. Yeah, he was. It's a real shame, RIP. He was great.
That's a tough that's a tough act.
Right. Tell me about it.
They don't even look alike either.
No, not even a little bit. I mean, they're both white. And they're dudes, so interchangeable.
That's about as far as it goes, though. They'd be
they're old, both old.
I don't know. I mean, I understand the choice, but I also think it's a bold one because he's known, whereas the other guy wasn't that known. Anyway,
I'm sure Ray Stevenson had credits. I'm sure if we actually looked at his IMDb,
not as hey, name a role.
I mean, fair. Totally
Yeah,
fair.
he's not iconically a character.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, no, I've been doing that. Went around there. What else did I do? I don't know, man. Lots of stuff. Saw Tottenham win something, which is cool.
You did,
Yeah.
and here's me making fun of you for picking a team that never wins anything. But at least it wasn't Arsenal.
They just needed a winning culture, mate. They needed somebody coming from a winning culture.
An
That's what I'm
Aussie,
saying.
of course.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Ange.
Oh, I was talking about me. You know,
No,
Laker
no,
fan,
not you.
Dodger
You're not a
fan.
winner.
They just needed somebody to come from a fandom of winning. No, Andrew's cool. It does seem like he's a little bit too Aussie for the Premier League, meaning like
He is so Aussie.
he needs to give a few more fucks about things that they care about and not just like stay on this talk track of like, you know, Premier League doesn't always matter. There's other things that matter. Like, it's like, no, it's pretty much.
He just needs to do a shoey and get on with it.
That might help his cause, actually. People might
His
like
credibility. Yeah, I think British people would love that.
Yeah, I went to the stadium when they won. It was like they were doing a viewing party, and it looked like they rolled out the TVs from the fucking players' lounge out there. Like it was so, no, like they were small. I couldn't see anything. I was all the way in the past. Like, I was like, surely this bigger. But then, like as I got closer, I was like, no, they are pretty big. I don't know what else they could.
Dre, it's not about the size of it; it's what you do that counts. Like, come on, we say this every week.
Well, you need to be able to see it. I would think.
Again, a thing I hear all the time.
Yeah, I think visibility would be an
name
indicator
of my
of
sex
some
tape.
level of, yeah.
That's cool, man. You were at the final, were you?
Yeah, well, not at the game, but not in Bilbao.
Oh, you were? I thought you were at the game. I thought you saw I saw your Instagram post. It looked like you were actually at the game.
No, I was at they did like a watch party at the stadium.
That makes sense. That also would suck because you want to be at the game.
Yeah. But it was cool. How about you, man?
I mean, did we talk about it last week? It was my birthday. I had a birthday in there somewhere, which was nice. We mostly celebrated in Japan, to be perfectly honest with you. We did a bunch of stuff. We did a couple of big dinners. You know, my partner, she loves a bougie dinner. So we did like a couple of
who doesn't, dude?
Degustations. Yeah, I mean, we did one which was like a Wagyu beef degustation. It was phenomenal. Like every course was a different variety of Wagyu beef cooked a different way. Like he did one where he cooked the tongue in front of us and it like curled up like a weird tongue.
Gross.
Oh man,
good.
Like gross but good. Not a part of the podcast for anyone who's a vegetarian. Delicious, like so good. I mean, like I said, did a lot of the celebrate rolls over there. We did a couple of little things. Like we celebrated by my partner getting very sick.
What did she do?
That's how we celebrated my birthday this time. She's just got the flu, but it's been a lingerer.
Tough. The flu is tough.
Brutal. It's brutal. But yeah, had a lovely time. Had a great time. I bought a bunch of geek shit in Japan. Like I said, I didn't need anything for my birthday at all. I've got a kimono. I actually bought myself a kimono. The first time we bring this to video, which is going to be in just over a month or so, I'm going to wear that kimono for you, DL, so you can bask in the glory of it. It's the best thing I think I've ever bought.
That's definitely what I'm looking forward to most.
It's a bold statement.
Yeah, no, I just trying to think how I'm going to match your kimono energy.
The bold statement, Cotton.
How do I match your kimono energy? Like that's a wild thing to match. Like
the big energy. Oh, I mean, you know I've loved shit shirts my entire life. This is just an extension of that. I'm building the platform.
Shit shirts is different than shit kimonos.
Hey, there's nothing shit about this kimono. How dare you? It's great. Guys, if you want to stick around and listen to us chat about our weeks, please feel free to. There will be time codes in the description. Usually, and as always, supplied by Mr. Mr. Matthew Bliss of mbpod.com. Skip around. Feel free to go to the main topic. We've already said we're talking about Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I have thoughts. DL messaged me his thoughts last night, and I'm intrigued to see where we go with this. But while you're down there, if you could, if nothing else, because you want to see me in a kimono when this finally gets the video in a month or so's time, give us a 5-star. It will give us that push that we need to get across the line. I looked today. We have 25 stars on Spotify, which is so great. Thank you so much. I realize you've all been stealing your partner's phones, giving us 5 stars on those. Please keep going. It really helps, keeps the lights on for us. We don't know how algorithms work. We know you do. DL.
Yeah.
What have you been sneakily watching in your spy sphere this week?
Oh, dude, what have I been doing? So, I've actually like had some time. I've been like good. I haven't been going out as much. I've been like hitting gym and just watching shows, which is like
You do look refreshed. You look like you've had a good sleep.
yeah. When my life is going well, that's like generally what's happened.
Nice.
So
look how great you look.
Thank you, bud.
Hey, everybody, come see how great I look.
Yeah. It's been a good couple weeks.
Give me your top 2.
Andor and White Lotus from a show perspective, and then extracurriculars. It's been. Do you remember Annihilation?
It rings a bell. What is it?
It's the movie with
Yes.
with yes with Oscar
Yes.
Isaac and what's her name?
Oh, Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman. She is in it as well. It's a sci-fi movie where they go into like Area X, and it's like,
Okay.
do you remember this? This is not. It's a pretty
When you said
famous
Extraction, my brain went to a very
movie.
different
No.
movie. So carry on. I'm intrigued.
Annihilation.
Annihilation, sorry. Yeah. Same thing. We're talking the same thing.
Okay, look it up. It's I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but you're just forgetting.
More than likely.
It's a pretty interesting sci-fi movie.
Okay.
And but it's made after a book. And so I've been reading that book to get inspiration because there's parts of that movie that I kind of want to ape, but in a different way.
Okay.
And so that's been good. It's been different. I liked what they did with the movie. I think it actually is better in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So doing that, but mostly, frankly, I've been watching Andor and The White Lotus, and I've finished White Lotus. I have 2 episodes left of Andor, and I have to ask you, have you watched any of this?
So, White Lotus, yes, we can certainly talk about that. I have only seen. So last night I sat down and finally got to watch the 2nd episode of Andor. So
it's so good.
I'm a little behind.
Bro,
the first
so
2 episodes aren't the best episodes, but it's just got such incredible write-ups. I'm like, okay,
bullshit. But it is fucking great. It's so good.
I remember the first season.
Yeah, that's great. You're gonna love the 2nd season then. It's
okay,
fucking,
good.
It's so good. It's
I just wanted to see like a recap online. I was like, how do I just watch like a 5-minute? This is what happened in the first season. Go and watch it. So on Disney Plus, there's one, and it's like 20 minutes long. I was like, I don't need 20 minutes. So I went on YouTube, and every single one was like a collection of clips artistically put together. I was like, I don't want this. Just tell me what the fuck happened in season 1 in like 5 minutes. I don't care. So I was like, I'm still watching it kind of blind.
Yeah, but like it's a character driven.
Totally.
It's a character driven show. If you just take the plot, you're like missing most of the fun. Like the reality is what happened in season 1, whatever their place with the Krennics or whatever they were on, eventually becomes a source of a major part of the rebellion because Cassian Andor eventually decides to make the choice to join the rebellion.
Because Aunt Petunia had to do like a big hologram of herself.
Yeah.
I remember. She was telling Harry that he wasn't worth it.
Exactly.
I remember. I've seen this movie before.
And Cassian Andor basically goes on a journey of like from self-interest to self-interest aligned with the rebellion to literally losing everything by being imprisoned to accepting that this is like worth dying for. Like that's the summary. And there's a bunch of other people that get involved there.
This is what I needed. This is what I wanted YouTube to give me, and you've just given it to me, so thank you.
Oh, it's so good. And I can't believe you said the first 2 episodes are bad. I can't remember exactly what happens. I think it's when they're at that farm.
I never said bad. I just said they're slow.
Oh, I thought you said not good.
No, I said slow. They're a little slow. Like it's the first couple of episodes of the season. You expect that. They've got to build back up.
That's actually fair because they always kind of it's a 3 episode arc for every
yeah.
So it does peak in the 3rd of that trio.
They're on the farm, and he got captured. He basically stole the prototype ship and got captured, and it's like he was just captured by some dudes for 2 episodes.
That is a big criticism of that part. It's like, but it's also I think totally needed because it highlights what he's dealing with and how good he's become. If that makes sense,
he has become pretty good to be fair.
But yeah, I agree.
But you can't talk about anything other than episode 1 and 2. So
I'm loving it. Well, I love those scenes where it's just like you just see how he's having to like by showing how bad they are, he's showing how he's developed as a
right.
spy and as a rebel.
My favorite thing about the show is that you get really wound up about it really easily by friends of the show who like to make fun of you.
I'm not wound up about it. I think it's amazing. I think it's pretty like ridiculous that like people that like used to say Harry Potter is tween reading and should never be read, and they've seen the movies, have opinions on things they haven't seen. Subtle chat.
Brandon Kyle, we've got your receipts.
But no, I think, and this might even piss him off more, and maybe it'll make him watch it. I think this has proven that, is it Tony Gilroy who's the showrunner of this?
Yes, correct. It is Tony Gilroy.
There is no better showrunner for Red Rising, the show, than Tony Gilroy.
Ooh, there you go.
You want to see a rebellion story told to perfection, watch Andor. And what can he do to top it? Do it again with Red Rising.
I tell you what's funny. The best thing about him is he doesn't give a shit apparently about Star Wars. I think that's why it's so good. It's got no reverence for the source material. It's just like, yep, we're doing this my way.
Well, he's saying all this shit now.
Yeah.
After it's been successful, but he didn't say it before because because it's very famous that like people that talk a little bit of shit about the property or talk a little bit or have too strong of an opinion get like fired. Like, so
totally.
It's crazy that he actually got away with, I think apparently he has like a connection to one of the big studio execs. And there's a bunch of people in Star Wars, like Dave Filoni, who like he's like the Kevin Feige of that, like hate him apparently.
Oh, that's interesting.
And so it's like kind of crazy that Andor actually got a second season, and they all hate that like everyone keeps talking about Andor as like the main thing, even though they got all these other things they're doing. And it's like, well, the other things suck.
Everything else is crap. I mean, it's not crap. I got called out by the friends of the show from the Till the End of the Line from the Till the End of the Line podcast this week for saying that I didn't love Ahsoka. I think that's a valid comment. I don't think it's the best. I think when you put anything in the context of how good Andor is, it probably isn't going to be anywhere near as good, especially in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think Ahsoka sucked. I think it was like a missed opportunity. Like it wasn't as good as it could have been. Yeah. I'd say it's above average for Star Wars stuff, average for a show in today's, Yeah.
So even though you haven't finished it, you certainly recommend Andor Season 2?
Could not recommend it more. And I cannot wait to watch like Rogue One again as like a finale, because I actually haven't seen it in a long time.
I've only seen it once. I've only seen it the one time. I was on an airplane, actually. It's an airplane movie for me. I heard mixed things because it obviously got torn to pieces and remade in the reshoots. So I was like, oh, I'll watch it on an airplane sometime. And I did. And I was like, I fucking want to see this on a big screen somewhere because this is epic.
It got like a lot of good reviews, right? I loved it. I thought it was good.
It kind of got reviews after the fact. From memory, because it got so torn to pieces in the editing, people were a bit like, oh, I don't know, like it, but then like the whole Vader bit at the end, oh, so good. Like, mwah, chef's kiss. So tell me about White Lotus then. As you said on our last episode, Black Lotus, which I think is a very different show.
Yeah, I guess. Well, isn't the... Anyway, I digress. There's ways I could have gone with that, and I've chosen not to. The White Lotus is a great show, man. It's like one of those build-up shows. It's just awesome. It's kind of like, Knives Out, but it's like not at all like it tonally, but it's like a similar thing. It's a similar premise.
Sorry, there was a trailer for the new what did you say? The
Knives Out.
Knives Out. It's called Dead Man Awaken or something. There was a trailer or a few stills from it this week, and I'm fucking pumped for that.
Yeah,
White Lotus, sorry.
I reckon it's probably like similar. Like it couldn't be more different in tone, but very similar in premise, which is like someone's gonna die.
Yes.
Every season, someone's gonna die, and it's kind of like it's not like a whodunit in the traditional sense. It's like more like you're more predicting their emotionality because it's not like a planned murder usually. It's like a happenstance. So it's like who has the emotional fragility or the ability to break. And I find it like a very interesting concept. I love it as a premise. The societal like analysis and like socioeconomic analysis and just social analysis is
that's the bit I like.
So poignantly spot on for our time. The guy has clearly lived, who wrote this, a very diverse and I think life filled with perspective, and that's pretty cool.
I think you can get that just from the one Walton Goggins speech, or he's the guy who's in Iron Man 2. I always forget his name, but I absolutely love him, and he's like the best friend of Walton Goggins. What is his name? That's gonna kill me. Sam Rockwell. The Sam Rockwell bit where he's telling him the story about how he became a woman and he was getting, I was like, and it's so funny because
that was
it was, it was totally just like out of the blue. And my partner was like, there's going to be a spicy bit in this episode. And she thought it was going to be someone dying or like something else happening. And then I came out, I was like, that was it. That's the spice of it. It was like so fucking good.
Bro, that was the part where I was like, it almost went too far.
Totally.
But it was like close enough either way that I was like, man, I still laughed. But like apparently Walton Goggin like didn't get briefed on what he was gonna say.
So good.
Which is
That's
just
exactly
like
what you want.
phenomenal. Because he just
That's what you want.
he plays it exactly like you would. You'd be like,
Yeah.
okay.
Kind of distressed, but yeah, at the same time, this is my mate. I've got to be here for him, and I need him.
Anyway, that is yeah, I don't know where that part of the inspiration came from, but I just mean in general, like the way he's able to like really nail the female, like kind of low key passive aggressive bitchy dynamic, to nail the like, premier like family. We put on airs, we put on a forefront of like, we're better and that
Totally.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then also
Yeah.
just like really, I thought nail like the Thai culture, and like I don't know if you've been to Thailand or Bali or any of these kind of
I have.
Southeast Asian countries, like the level of just like really happy with what they like. There's an element of like joy that those people I think have that they nailed as well with the characters there. So it just really well done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all that. I stand by what I said before. Like I think I just didn't like the first season. There was something about the first season that just rubbed me the wrong way, and I've just not been able to get back on the bandwagon with those things. But I'm glad you like it. I thought you might.
Did you watch the second season?
Again, we're coming back to my favorite new segment of the show, which is things I watched in the periphery while my partner was watching them. Yes, but I was very much not really paying attention. However, a thing that I did begin to pay attention to was a thing for this segment, which I want to talk about this week, which I have been watching over the last few weeks with the partner. It is called Your Friends and Neighbors. Have you heard of this?
No.
So this is like the old, so you know that meme where it's like a dad comes in the room and and at the beginning and he's like, the beginning of what he's doing, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not interested in this. I'm doing my own thing. And then he gradually starts to watch, and then he gets closer and eventually he's watching.
Yeah.
That was me over the course of this show. It is, I think it's on Apple. It's a new John Hamm show. Effectively, it's about this hedge fund manager who, classic John Hamm, he's a big dick, which, by the way, hot tip, John Hamm, actually a massive dick, in case anybody wanted to know that. I know a girl in Sydney, or at least a friend of a friend, who fucked John Hamm, and apparently, like a baby's arm holding an apple. So he's a hedge fund manager who basically
like a baby's
gets
arm holding an apple.
That's from a movie.
Like he's got a big dick, or is it small? That's confusing.
Giant penis.
Okay, that makes sense. Tall guy, very competent. I've seen some clips of him like when he early in his career, and he just seemed like an asshole.
Got that swagger. Well, he brings that to this show. He's a hedge fund manager, like I say, who basically loses his job and resorts to burglary from like his friends and his like little neighborhood, like his close knit little neighborhood. It's really fun. I started off giving this zero attention, and by the time it was finishing, I was like, okay, I was at least in the room watching it with a partner. Some of the twists are pretty fun. Like John Hamm is just great in it. There's loads of weird shit that happens. It seems kind of real the way the relationships kind of like evolve as well. Like he basically, like his wife has left him for this former NBA player, but there's a love between them that the NBA guy can't quite pick back up with. It's really good, man. It's really like I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot for a show that I peripherally watched.
Okay, cool. What was it called?
I'll
put it in my watch list.
Your Friends and Neighbors. I suggest you could even try and incept Gail to watch it, because I think Gail would like it. You could come at it from the angle of it's more about the it is a lot about the female characters and the family dynamic. I think she'd enjoy that. It's a 7.8 in IMDb. It's got a lot going for it.
Okay. Cool.
I'd recommend that.
Cool.
Another thing I watched, which I think you definitely will have watched, but will definitely recommend to everyone, is The Fugitive from 1993. Have you seen that movie?
Are you making a joke?
No, not at all.
I've definitely seen that movie.
Okay, good.
My I guess you'd call him cousin second. We used to call him like uncle or grandpa. It was like my grandpa's cousin, but we were really, really close with him. He's actually in that movie for like a briefest of scenes. Yeah.
Which character? Oh, where, when, how?
He has like an Oscar. It's like literally like 5 seconds, but he has a line.
Okay.
And he's like an Oscar. He had like an Oscar at his apartment. That was
cool.
like Jim, best actor or best supporting actor, but it's fake. Like he just
So
made it for himself.
But I thought you meant he had an actual fucking Oscar.
No.
Really
it's completely fake. He's like in it where they're like, it's in the very beginning where he's going to that fundraiser and he still doesn't know that his like wife is dead. Right. And he's like saying hi to people. And there's a guy that like is doing a golf swing and he's like, like this. and he walks by and says something to him. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna." I forget what he says, but something like,
You'll be on a PJ in no time.
Yeah, it was just like, they're giving each other shit. So he says something to Harrison Ford, and he gets like a full on line facial feature, just like line. It's pretty cool.
Now I've got to go back and rewatch it just for that. I need to know when
it's in the first 10 minutes. So.
That's so good. I loved it. I can't believe it's been like probably over 20 years since I watched it. I'm sort of ramping up a little bit on sort of 80s, 90s movies, catching up on a few things that I haven't watched in a long time. Obviously, me and Reegs are working on a little side project, and I'm sort of getting back into that era of movies we grew up with, things that we watched. And oh my God, man, I just like Harrison Ford, like even when he's disheveled and fucking.
What do you mean, even when? That's like when he's at his best.
But he still looks like a he looks so good. I'm like, dude, like how? Like, I just love the guy.
I've heard a sick quote from him that like acting was just basically a war of attrition. Like he's like, I did it and wasn't famous until everyone else that I started doing it with it had stopped. Like, essentially. And I vibe with that sometimes, like mainly because I think enterprise software sales is also the same. It's like you do all this work and like you set all the foundations, but really like at the end of the day, like that work could be yours or it could be some guy that has the patch 3 years later. Like it's just, it is like there's 100%. No direct tie-in. It's a war of attrition. It's like, who's going to last long enough to
Dude, and post sales. I tell you what, man, like exactly the same. Like some of the accounts I've been on in the last 2 years are going absolutely gangbusters right now. And I'm like, I did that.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Yeah.
Look, I think you know me. I love going back and watching fucking 90s, 80s movies. Anyway, but this is like absolutely god tier movie.
It's a great movie. That's great actors. I mean, like there's a bunch of
everyone's Tommy Lee Jones. Like what a delight! What a delight! I forget how good Tommy Lee Jones is. You know, every time, like I think of him exclusively as Men in Black in my head, but he's obviously not just that. He has a trillion movies.
Oh, he's a lot of stuff. He's in your side project's name.
Pretty much, yeah, literally. He sure is.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend going to and checking out some 90s movies, but specifically The Fugitive, just to see your not uncle. Guys, if there's anything you recommend we go away and check out, please hit us up. You can find us on the social.
Yeah.
We are at Podcast Assemble on Instagram or TikTok. We are also at thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. If you want to shoot us an email, keep it brief. Send us things. Send us memes. Send us news. Send us reviews. We love it when you do. We went through a gold patch of memes at one point. That was one of my favorite times when people were just sending us memes. But if you have seen Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, send it over. Let us know what you think.
Please do.
DL.
Yeah.
Do you want to preface this beautiful main topic of ours?
It's the main topic theme.
Yeah. Dead Reckoning. Right? Dead Reckoning.
Part 2. Final Reckoning.
Final Reckoning. Yeah. Final Reckoning. There was many a reckoning. Which is like, I guess like the final Mission Impossible. I don't know if I believe that because
we'll talk about it.
Because like, I just think Tom Cruise is using this as an avenue to like kill himself. And I think his adrenaline
get out of the pact he's got with the
I don't know
the cult he's in.
I think he's just got an addiction to the threat of death, and this is like his avenue for pursuing that. So I'm not sure it's the last one, but apparently it's the last one.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about this. I'm getting a bit ahead of things, but like this was originally slated. This was kind of slated as like the crescendo of the franchise, like the end game if you're a fan of the MCU. But then Tom Cruise came out like a week later and was like, "Yeah, I want to do this into my 80s." So who the fuck knows? It could finish tomorrow. It could go on forever.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's probably money in it. People go to see. I mean, and to be, I don't know how it's even done, but like in the box office. But I'll be real. Like these movies annoy the shit out of me. But frankly, like there are parts of them that are like really just endearing and like maybe not endearing, but like I like. There's parts of them where I'm like, that was just fucking cool. Like, so I have a love-hate relationship.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
But yeah, so dumb summary.
Well, let's do dumb summaries first. Go for it.
Timeline 1 of my proposed fictional book, but Tom Cruise gives you a happy ending.
That gives me specifically a happy ending?
Interpret it how you will.
I didn't sign up for this.
Interpret it how you will.
I buy my cinema ticket.
Interpret it how you will.
I like that. I like that. Mine's very simple. I think we talked about this before we started recording. Mine is very low effort, unfortunately. I couldn't think of anything good for this. when turning it on and off again just isn't an option, send in Ethan Hunt. That's it. It's that simple.
It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad.
Well, this is from Christopher McQuarrie, who you know is probably the face of the next Tom Cruise movie. I feel like it's his director select, but he's also got a bunch of other cool stuff under his wing. Like he was a writer on The Usual Suspects. I like him. I think he makes visually very nice movies. This has a great cast. We've talked about Tom Cruise. Haley Atwell is in this again as Grace. Ving Rhames is in this as Luther. Simon Pegg is back. Gabrielle is back. That's Asay Morales. Pom Clemteef is back. Literally, look, if they've been in a Mission Impossible movie, they're probably and not dead. They're probably in this one. But it also brings some new characters. Nick Offerman's in this. Hannah Waddington, who you will know obviously from Ted Lasso, is in this. Trammell Tillman, who you know as Milkshake Baby, is in this. This has got a good cast, man. Like it's big and it's wide, it's girthy.
I'll tell you what they lacked in actual foreshadowing and really great plot work across this franchise, they tried to make up for in, there's that guy from that movie.
They definitely
So much
tried
so
that.
that they had to give me flashbacks for every character because I was like, oh,
Look, we gotta talk about this. Tell me what happened in this movie before we get too deep.
Yeah, okay. Essentially, we've basically got the entity has taken over all IT infrastructure, all the infrastructure of the world, except for a few random nuclear codes for a couple different powers. But many powers have fallen. I think it was the ones that hadn't were the UK,
there was
China,
only 4,
Russia,
yeah.
and the US.
India maybe as well.
I think they just started by saying India has just fallen, or something like that.
My bad. Yeah, go on.
So there's basically the entity's getting a lot of it's getting smarter as it goes, which is the way this stuff would work. And so it's
totally.
it's tackling how these other nuclear powers are set up, and they basically have algorithm algorithed. Let's just say algo.
Squared.
They've algoed out how long it's going to take for these other nations to likely fall, and so they've got
and
3
it's
days.
3 days,
which is a good manufacture. We'll talk about it, but meanwhile, it's using its persona, its ability to manipulate, and this is one of my biggest criticisms of the film. Actually, is they kind of just yada yada over this, which I think is the most interesting part and where the story actually is. For this part of the story is to get humanity to kind of distrust itself and
that
basically collapse and essentially there's even a cultist group that wants the entity to win.
That was me. I was part of that group.
Yeah, there's that backdrop, and we've basically left the story where Ethan Hunt has the kerfluffin or
the key?
McGluffin or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, the crucifix key.
The crucifix key, which if you forgot, because most of us probably did, I kind of remembered, but it connects.
Well,
it opens up the sub that is crashed at the bottom of the ocean, which has the source code of the entity, which Luther crafted a poison pill to essentially merge and kill. That is where we're
if
left.
you forgot anything that's happened at all ever
Just in case.
This franchise,
Yeah.
they're gonna tell you and then tell you again. I think that was my biggest problem with this film, was that they didn't trust you as a moviegoer to have either seen, remember, or have any idea about any of the movies that have already happened. So I think there were 3 times they did flashbacks to the whole film. I was I know, I just saw it.
At least. And even if I can't give a good plot summary here, they really suck because I got
they've done it for you.
I got the Rotten Tomatoes 84 times, or what's not the Rotten Tomatoes, the what is it? What was the thing you used to use as a kid when you didn't read the book?
The blurb.
We had one called I forget. It was a website where you could just cheat and read the summary of it.
I wish I had that. That's the best. But you're absolutely right. This movie, look, I had a great time with this, annoyingly, even though there's some really bad parts about it. The performances are great. The action's up to par for this franchise. The heavy use of practical effects is always great in these. But if you can't remember a thing that happened 10 minutes ago, my God, they're going to tell you and then tell you again.
Yeah,
and then remind you probably 15 minutes later, because that's the biggest thing that happened in this. And I jokingly turned to... So I went to see this with my partner, a friend of the show, Luke, and friend of the show, Luke's partner, Nat. And we sat there, and I turned around to Nat and said, hey, jokingly, Do you think they will do a last time on Mission Impossible for this?
Of course they were.
Well, it didn't seem like it was going to. It felt like it was just going to go into the movie. And then fucking 15 minutes later, it's like, now we've finished the summary. And I'm like, it's been going for so long. Why are we doing this?
It was like a third of the movie or more.
Yeah. A lot of this was taken up by, guess what just happened? Or this happened last time.
Or
like,
explaining what was happening.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they
100%.
just like, that is the biggest flaw. Like, again, similar to where you're at. I enjoyed it. I was like 30, 40 minutes in. I was like, fuck this movie.
You text me that.
I was pretty off it. Like, and then I'm gonna be honest. Usually, when a movie is 40 minutes in and I have that opinion, it's not boding well for my rating of the movie.
Bring it back.
And I'll give them this. They did bring me back.
I think that's a lot of credit to the acting in this and the characters. Like for a film that doesn't have great character work, I think they are fun characters to be around. You just know that stereotype or that trope, and you can just sit with it and enjoy it. I think the biggest criticism I could give this film is that I don't think it's that memorable. I don't like if you compare this right now to even the last one, Dead Reckoning. You remember what the big stunts were in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was a fun fucking movie. But then I just about remembered what the stunts were in this. Like, I just about, like, all right, pick any of them. You pick any of them. Like, you remember when he hung on the side of the biggest building in the world, or the one where he hung off the side of the airplane. Like, you remember those things. And I just think this doesn't quite have the same wow factor. And that's in no way like a huge criticism of this. Like, I still really enjoyed it and had a good time with it. But I think personally, I'm kind of ready for it to be a small scale action film again. Like, I think I'm kind of ready for them to just go like, descale a little bit. Let's have a smaller mission where not the entire universe is at stake. And I think we say this every time we watch like one of these big franchises now. I'm like, let's have a little wow where it's just like a small thing. Like, you know, the first one where he zips down on a wire and he has to steal something from a computer.
Yeah,
that's the big thing in that film. Whereas in this, he's hanging off the side of an airplane. And I don't think he's capable of not doing that anymore.
Yeah, look, I think I will remember the stunts in this because I do remember thinking this is pretty crazy. Now,
agreed.
It was like we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it took me out of it a bit because I was like, this is just like clearly doing it for to get Tom Cruise's dick hard. Like that's like literally clearly like, and we can get into that later. Like we can get into Tom Cruise's hard dick later, not now.
Like a baby's arm holding an apple.
But the point being, like, I hear you. I think there's some cool stuff. There's some stuff. Like I think that. Fundamentally, it just lacked confidence in the viewer.
Yeah,
like and you could tell because like 100%. There were
100%.
so many things where like they were like these Deus Ex Machina, plot changes where there's all sorts of things they're pulling from different movies that are like kind of, in my opinion, just like retro. There's a phrase for this.
They are retroactively trying to like insert things into this movie.
And like make it like without the proper foreshadowing done tactfully. And they do it with characters. They do it with a couple plot moments from random movies. And I just think that there's better ways to do it. You have to trust your viewer a bit.
100%. I gotta say though, like on the flip side of that though, like the tension in this was phenomenal. Like I all of that is 100% right. This movie is like the biggest like oxymoron all on its own. On one hand of it, it's overacted. I was kind of bored by everything that wasn't the action. But on the other hand, the tension, the action itself, like I enjoyed the characters. It just worked somehow. And like you say, it brought you back from 45 minutes of not enjoying it. And I don't know, have we talked about this on the podcast before? The way they make these specific movies is they come up with an idea for a big stunt that, again, wants to get Tom Cruise's dick hard. And they think of the stunts and then they go back and create a story around them. Have we talked about that before? I just find that fascinating.
I guess it makes sense because, like, at this point, like, you have to kind of start with the spectacle because they've done so much that, like, you can't just naturally get to a place that's going to get bigger than that. If that makes sense.
Like Tom Cruise's dick?
Bigger than Tom Cruise's dick?
You can't get bigger than that. You really can't get bigger than that.
I can't speak to that. I cannot speak to that.
I tell you what really worked for me in this, and it was... I really like this world. Like again, I'm almost going back on what I was just saying a minute ago. Well, I didn't... Like, if you cut out all the exposition in this and all the times they were going like, last time on Mission Impossible, almost, this is a great tight movie. It's like an hour and a half here that's like really interesting and fun. And you get the quippy characters, and you get like the Haley Atwell doing her thing. She's beautiful, just being beautiful.
Oh god,
Like,
she bugs me so much in this.
there is something that bugs me about her
fucking
too.
can't
But
stand her.
really,
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't like her.
that's so interesting.
What else is she in?
The MCU. She is Peggy Carter.
Yeah,
She's Captain America's big love.
yeah.
She's in a load of stuff. She's great. But like, that works for me. This world, like, I want to come back to this world, and I think what it is, and I think it's what you were trying to get at, is I am more than happy to overlook the nonsense I have to go through to get to those big action beats, to get to Ethan Hunt being a fucking dynamo. You just do, and I think that just keeps you in it for this film.
I agree. Overall, I was gonna think like, do I have anything to add to that? No. I think there are points though where like even the stuff that kept me in it, where it's absurdist, and I'm like, can you guys just like make it a bit more, like a bit more real?
Just
like
a little bit.
He didn't need to strip the suit.
Well,
right,
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, like,
we're gonna talk
that,
about
like that bit too far is like, guys, just like make it like within the grasp of reality. Like
100%.
Like that does them, I think, that doesn't do them any favors when they do that stuff.
And but like they tried to yada yada that before it happened. They were like, well, he's gonna come up and he's gonna have X and Y and Z, and it just like at times I felt pandered to, and I don't want that. Do you know what I mean? Like I want this to be. I want to like learn from subtext. I want to learn from the context of what's happening and go, I spotted that. I'm excited to see where that goes. And I didn't get any of that in this film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. What I did get, since we talked a lot about like what we kind of liked, didn't like, what I struggled with, I got a lot of really cool. I think like there were parts in this where I was like, fuck, the military is actually pretty cool.
Okay.
A lot, like meaning like what they're actually capable of.
You're getting incepted.
No, I'm meaning like, no, I don't think that like the military industrial complex is pretty cool. But it's just like something can be bad and still cool. Darth Vader's fucking cool. Like
he is cool. Like, yeah.
You know, my point is like they're
anal beads. They're bad, but they're cool.
Depends on your preference. Depends on your stance on anal play. But
sitting.
Well, that's part of the appeal for some, I would imagine. Fucking God, where was I going with this, dude?
The military complex.
Yeah, no, meaning just like what, like the level of like dedication and capability and
agreed.
and just like sheer tech, like that, what we're capable of is like quite interesting, and
it's epic,
it's wild, and and like those scenes where it's just like people that are just up for the task of like executing in the most high pressure situations and showing up, like when Milkshake shows up.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, I was just like his character, like there was something about it that was just like kind of like cool. Same with like his crew, and you get the same thing on the Russian side, and it's like there was just like some, like it does, I guess, like, and then you get the kind of opposite of that with the generals, where you're like, this is where it might go. This is where it's like terrible, like where it's like this one person who's like just so convinced they're right earnestly because they've been around power so long, and they've like game theoried so much, they're removed from the reality to a degree. The human reality is like
theme of this film.
Yeah, is the opposite side of it, and I thought they nailed that. To be honest,
agree. Yeah, I agree. And Milkshake as well, by the way.
Yeah, Milkshake. Yeah, he was great.
Chef's kiss.
The Situation Room stuff I thought was like probably some of the best stuff in the movie.
I agree. Here's a question then: if you could pick a spin-off from one of these sets of characters to follow, who would you go for? Because there's some really compelling sort of non-central characters in this.
If I can be honest, I'll answer it for the question just because you asked, but I don't think any of these characters have enough to them to be a fucking spin-off.
But no, they not in the slightest. But like, I think that's kind of the interesting thing about him.
But if I had to pick one that I'd like to see more of in a future movie, like, or a couple, I definitely Tremel Tillman is in there.
100%.
The President was good, although like, you know, it was
Angela Bassett's awesome.
I'm not sure like what else they could give her that's like more fucking intense than this, like, you know, so I don't know what her role would be. I did love a lot of all the generals were good.
I felt like a lot of them were sort of, I felt they were a bit shoehorned in. I felt like there was there
was more there that could have been cool. But,
right. Like, cut some of the retrospective and give me more of that power dynamic in that room where it's the president,
agreed,
generals, Nick Offerman, I love him, but he has nothing to do in this. He felt really forced.
Well, he did
felt
what he
like-
could do with what he was given for sure, but
Well,
yeah, which wasn't
well, that's what I'm
much.
saying. Like,
Yeah.
he was great. Like, and he is great in general. Full stop. I just don't think there was enough time for him to have more to do,
Yeah.
which is a real shame. But you're absolutely right. I would love to see more of that Tremel Tillman character. I don't know why. They just had a spot. That team was fucking cool. And then
Yeah.
one of them went rogue on them. The whole thing, I was like, there's layers here. I want to get into this.
Yeah, no, it was good. I liked that stuff. Although I can tell you who I wouldn't want to see:
Who?
the fucking random Asian French girl. God, she
you know what?
sucked.
Wait, you don't know her? She's from Guardians of the Galaxy. She is Mantis.
she is. She's the Mantis.
Really?
character.
I thought she was really good in this. I don't know what it was. She was a little bit.
Mate.
I don't know. Actually, you know what? Like, I'm going to take that back. I really liked her in this, but I didn't like the fact that she just decided she was going to be on Tom Cruise's team because he saved her life once. I was like, you're a stone cold fucking killer.
Yeah, it doesn't
Be a
add up.
stone cold
A.
killer. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's no loyalty among thieves.
B, like just like the random like one-liners in French that like are so fucking dramatic
Made
and annoying.
No
is
point.
So
Absolutely
obnoxious.
no point.
Like where it's like
Yeah.
somebody needs to stay to hit the fuse. Who will live and who will die? In French, it's like,
Yeah, right.
duh. Like we know. We don't need you saying it in French.
Oui,
Like-
oui.
Like as if it's a movie to like it's like it just like really makes it seem like a movie when she does that shit. It's just like
So
I don't
unnecessary.
know. It's super
Yeah.
obnoxious.
You just have to assume everyone speaks French in the room. Like, you know what if like one person didn't speak French and like what are you all saying? Like,
Well,
I don't
guaranteed
understand.
one of them didn't like like
right,
it's-
probably Haley Atwell.
but it reminds me of just like the fucking twins in the Harry Potter just always talking in unison like for no fucking reason.
I hated that shit. Hated
Yeah,
it.
like it was just like why are you're just doing this because it's a movie. Like this is like clearly a movie
Yeah.
thing to do. Anyway.
Right. Well, speaking of Pom Clenteef, she did a lot of her own stunts in this, as did obviously Tom Cruise. We know they did. He always does his own
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
But
his thing.
I think one of the most compelling things probably about this is the mix of real practical stuff versus the minimal. I'm going to put quotation marks around minimal CGI. There's a lot of CGI in this, but like he is in a water tank doing underwater stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to hold his breath as long as it is humanly possible to do so. He is literally on a plane, as you'll see on all of the trailers, like hanging off. I just think it really that's why these movies are compelling, because there is like they're in real locations. They probably actually go to the Arctic in this and stuff. So I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's like the joy of being in this world is that you are in the real world in this weird hyper spy reality
Yeah.
that at this point it's gone way too far for its own good, but it's still great to be in. So yeah, I mean, like, which was your favorite out of the couple of big action scenes?
I did like a lot of them. I'll tell you what, it might be a wild take, but I thought the submarine shit was really cool.
Yeah, so good.
I just thought they went too far with it, the same way they went too far with the plane stuff. But I thought they were both pretty cool. If I had to pick one, I would choose the submarine. Actually,
I agree. The tension built up in that, like
the music,
everything about that was
Yeah.
fantastic. I really liked the fact that there was the double jeopardy of there being nuclear warheads in there as well that had just been lying there for years. All of that, like layers and layers of jeopardy. So good, so very well done. There wasn't outside of those big two action scenes though. There wasn't much action. Am I wrong in that, or have I just forgotten something because it was so
There
forgettable?
were just like random little combat scenes, like hand to hand. There's like much more like we're all in a room doing exposition about what we need to do in the plan than there was action scenes, to be honest. But
yeah, action scenes. I love my action scenes, like Sean Connery.
Yeah. What else? I was trying to think if there's another one. I can't really think. I mean, there was like the ones with like the the flight, the plane. There were little ones here and there.
But that it kind of felt like it was exposition leading into a big action scene.
I'm okay with that though. If there was like more
If
action
it's
for the
this
sake of action,
yeah.
I would have
100%
probably
agreed.
been like, bored.
I didn't need that. I think I just needed, like I say, that little cut down in the exposition piece, and we would have been absolutely fine in this. Tell me then, what are the tones and themes of this movie? Actually, one of them, Tom Cruise says out loud, he actually says, you spend too much time on the internet to someone. I was like, oh, well, there's your tones and themes. I'm done. I don't need any more. It's so bad.
Yeah, what did he say? Like, get off the computer or something? Like,
No,
oh
he
my
actually
God.
said, I wrote it down. I don't take my phone out in films because I hate people doing that, but I wrote down,
I did.
you spend
multiple
too
times.
much time on the internet. It was full. Our cinema was full, by the way. It wasn't like, it was one of those where you had like quite big chairs, so there weren't like a million seats in there, but it was full. I was like, this is great.
Look.
Cinema's back, baby.
The other thing I don't need is Tom Cruise thanking me to go to the cinema. Like, fuck off, dude. I was like, it's just
Apparently gives me happy endings. So
yeah,
I get
that's what
whatever
I'm
I can
looking
get out
for.
of him.
Yeah. Why are you just be like, thank you for sitting down and like it's just so
Taking
it's
the
just so
time.
megalomaniac fucking about me.
Yeah, but he
shit.
is.
I just
But
I
he
don't
is.
need it. I don't need it. Anyway,
That's who he is.
but like, that's an aside note because it just like the movie starts.
Oh, I didn't get that. We didn't get that in ours.
I think you missed it. Sure.
No,
you got it.
was it not? We didn't get that in ours. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
that's
just like
a
this like frame of
maybe
him
it's
just
a-
with the camera. Like anyway.
Well, that's from the. Isn't that from the original trailer they released where it's like, "Thank you for coming back to sit," and then he jumps off the airplane? Is
No.
it that one?
No.
Okay, all right, maybe not. I wouldn't get that then.
Sitting in a room.
Thank you.
What were we going? What was I going to say?
Tones and themes.
Oh yeah. I think there's clearly like there's a theme of like the decaying trust in society as
Definitely.
a result of technology. Like that's clearly an
Yeah.
opinion or a theme that they're investigating,
Yeah.
which I think is a good theme to investigate. To be honest, I think it's a good one.
I just had who watches The Watchmen, like, should God be controlled? Because they almost I mean, I think they even literally call the entity a god in this at one point.
Yeah, that they make it think like it is. That's another thing. It's like what they didn't really. Entity didn't have a really good sales pitch for all the stuff they were saying about
Didn't have a lot in it.
how good it was at manipulating people.
Yeah.
It's like sales
Well,
pitch needs
I
some work.
think when it did it like when it was manipulating stuff and people and things, we'll probably talk a bit more about this in spoilers, especially in the first one of these.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. It was interesting, and it felt like it had some good jeopardy attached to it, but it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
You got any more?
I think
Not very many themes in this movie. Let's
no,
be
there
honest.
is like it's like there's themes around like there's something to be said, and I'm not going to do it concisely because I didn't actually write this one down and think about it, but there's something to be said for like the president and all those like decision trees that she has to go through, and like
Yep.
is the greater good, utilitarianism
The greater good.
and like what is better, like sacrificing everyone to save seven, or but all that
Yeah.
stuff, that game theory stuff.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that.
Definitely.
I don't know what.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know either, but I like that you said it. You said it with such conviction. I'm glad that you said it.
Thanks, boy.
All right, let's do 3 best and 3 worst. What do you? Let's go worst this time. We always go best. What are your worst?
The over exposition, the French,
that, yeah.
French one-liners,
The French.
and honestly, Gabriel, what is up with that guy?
I have a note
He's
that
just
he was just
so
the smarmiest man.
He's so
on
absurd.
screen.
Like he's just. I don't
Yeah.
believe his motivation. Like I don't.
None of it.
He was the weakest.
What was his
part.
motivation?
He
He didn't
was-
have in this.
He was the weakest. Yeah, became like a caricature of himself. Caricature.
Well, that's interesting. Let's just hold that thought just for one moment because we'll talk about that in a minute. Do you have a third one?
that was my third.
Oh, that was sorry. That was your third. Okay. Outside of the exposition, it became kind of predictable. It kind of did. I felt like there wasn't a lot that I didn't like. And again, not really a criticism because I think what do you expect when you sit down to watch Mission Impossible? Do you know what I mean? Like at this point, it is almost a parody of itself.
Yeah.
One thing that I actually noticed a lot in this film, but my partner reminded me of, is that she got really annoyed with the heavy-handed score. So 2 things about it. One, it was really clear, like the Jaws music. It was quite clear who was good, who was bad at all times. There was no areas of grey in it, and it sort of took away a lot of the impactfulness of the dialogue. So where you were like, "Ooh, I wonder what side this person's on or what they're gonna do," it would be like, "Da-da," and you'd be like, "Oh, well, that's a good guy then." Do you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
it kind of took again, taking away the subtext of the movie. There was no reliance on the audience to know what was happening for themselves, and I got a little bit frustrated with that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something you noticed.
I didn't really notice the score except for during the submarine scene, which I thought was good.
Which was epic. That was
Yeah.
the only bit that really used silence well for me. Go on then, do you have any worsts? Sorry, best. We're doing best. We've
best.
done worst. What am I talking about?
I mean, like the plane stuff was pretty wild just to watch. And
Oh, it was epic.
do.
The stunts.
Yeah,
Duh.
the stunts.
The riz on them stunts, as the kid
Yeah.
would say.
And it also just like the settings, like the submarine visual setting, like it's just like a really good you don't see a lot of stuff like today that like where you're like, oh, I haven't seen this way in this like with this kind of stakes. Like,
Use space really well.
I don't know. I was surprised I was as intrigued by that as I was. Frankly.
I'm 100% with you. I felt
Yeah.
they did all that really well. I kind of took a different pitch on that. It's more like the tension building that came from, especially the submarine scene.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that in a long time.
Yeah.
It was just really impactful. Yeah. And you have a third one?
Yeah, third one would probably just be the theme around like the lack of trust causing escalation and like investigating that and all the stuff around like the decision room. Like they really did present like I think a realistic view of what a scenario that could cause nuclear war.
Yeah.
And I thought it was well done and interesting to watch.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. My final one was just, we now know what was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. Like, when they took the entity, we're going to get into spoilers in a minute. The entity ended up in a glowing yellow thing in a briefcase, and they opened it, and I was like, that's what it was. What we do now is let's talk a little bit about those critical receptions. So tell me, DL, what do you think the current IMDb score is for this? I'll give you a hint. It's lower than last week's.
I don't remember last week's, but probably like 7.5.
Boom! Bang on, 7.5, my man.
It feels like a solid 7.5.
It does feel like a solid 7.5, doesn't it? Can you guess me the Rotten Tomatoes score for this?
It'd be a bit higher, like in the early 80s, 83.
Oh, it's 80. I thought you were gonna come right down.
80
and finally, he guessed me Letterboxd. It's always 3.6, but never 3.6. What do you think it is?
I think it's 3.6.
It is 3.6. You got 2 out of 3. You're getting fucking good at this, man. I need to mix this up. And finally, we do our rating system, because obviously the internet is binary, not dissimilar to the code of the entity. We ask, is this better or worse than the most average movie we know, which is Aquaman 2018? I think it's a bit of a moot point. We clearly both had fun with this, but tell me, do you think it was better?
It's got to be better.
It is better, I think. I think it's a good movie. Could be better. Good, better than that fucking movie. It certainly is. Do you want to do a little bit of spoilers?
Yeah. There's a few.
There's some things there that I wanted to talk about. I mean, Tom Cruise wins. Of course he does. He does it. He does it. He wins.
He gives you a happy ending.
He gives that happy ending. And he doesn't die.
Well, clearly he couldn't cut off his most valuable
lucrative franchise. I mean, he pretty much owns it at this point. He could keep it going with someone else. Like, they tried to bring Jeremy Renner in a while ago. Like, just put someone else in there.
Isn't that what are you confusing Bourne Identity?
No, I mean, he tried to do both. He was in the one when he was hanging off the side of the building.
I'm just joking.
I'm doing a Spider-Man on the side of a building here. But yeah, Jeremy Renner apparently is the guy who tries and fails to take on franchises. I was 100% sure either he was going to die or take a step back somehow at the end of this film. The Bond franchise did it recently. He's 66 now? I was like, there's like, surely at some point he's gonna want to stop killing himself.
Yeah, maybe. He could take a different role and it could be someone else, but I just wonder.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I just wonder. This is clearly one of those movies that has like a franchise following, not for the story, mainly for the spectacle. So
that's true. You would need someone who would be willing to pick up those spectacle moments.
And it would be
who else is doing
repeatable to a degree. I don't know. I'm sure he's inspired some crazy cunt.
I mean, more than likely.
Yes.
Okay, so what happens in this film? They bring back the rabbit's foot from Mission Impossible 3.
Who knew?
Claiming it. Well, interestingly, they never defined what it was in that film, which,
let's just pretend that that's because they were planning to use it in the future. Not because they just had a very loose Hollywood plot that that's my
point.
The
fact that it's a very J.J. Abrams thing, that of being like, it's a what do you say? It's a mystery box. And he didn't want to explain it because it made it more compelling if he didn't. And then they've brought it back, and they brought back a lot of fucking people and things in this film. Characters from Mission Impossible 1.
I liked
Knife
that.
from Mission Impossible 1.
I liked that.
I did too, but I didn't know who the hell he was. I was
they reminded
what is
you.
happening?
They did.
They certainly did. If you don't remember something, they will remind you. What did you think of the ending of this, with Grace having to do the little switcheroo and take out the entity, locking it in a digital bunker?
I didn't love that bit because I'm just like, there's no way she's faster than a fucking computer. That needs to be automated.
Right.
So wasn't a fucking uber fan of that. I know why they did it. It's a nice little Hollywood bow to her little weird arc of being a little thief.
Being a thief or something.
Didn't love it. The Tom Cruise, not being able to get it in title of your sex tape. while he's like falling was kind of like, I was like, okay, guys, like we get it. Like, but
Yeah.
it was cool, kind of cool, I guess. Yeah, Gabriel just being an absurd.
I was
fucking
gonna say, you
thing
talked
is
about
just
Gabriel before. Like
too much.
Well, did you get the turn of him? I found that interesting, and they didn't make it super obvious. Like they mentioned it, but they didn't like really linger on it. So the entity had actually turned on him, and I don't know. Like I personally only realized afterwards when one of the guys I was with told me. So his arc in this is that after the last movie, when
He fails.
he failed the entity stopped, like blocked him, blocked him on Instagram, so he couldn't message him, and he was sort of trying to then control it for himself. And maybe I just missed something or fell asleep in all of the exposition, but I had missed that at the time.
It was like a one-liner.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? You didn't like that?
Oh, I just think it was like not a bad way to take his character, but it was just kind of like there wasn't enough there for it to be as believable. He was like pretty.
Yeah.
He was pretty like,
interesting while he was under the industry's control. I don't know why they changed that.
It was well, even if you do change it, like you need to understand a bit more about why that would like be so painful for him that he would then choose to risk the entire world. You know, like you need to understand his decision-making process. Like that obviously would be like tied to his identity in some way. You know what I mean? And like he would,
and we know nothing about him.
And he just kind of became this like almost like Joker, like absurdist, like I'm gonna like Ethan chase me, haha, like I'm gonna ram your plane. Like it was just like, dude, what do
Maybe
you?
a sex tape.
What is your exactly? What is your goal here? Like, are you trying to kill Ethan? Are you trying like
100% agree?
Why'd you give him the plane then? Like I'm just like super confused. Like his
just whole arc was very confusing.
It was kind of like they just like forgot to do something with him and just like made him this like stock standard.
I 100% agree. They definitely missed something in his character building.
His ending was, I think, almost a testament to that, where it was like, yes, 100%. This is like we're getting do the audience a favor. We know you're annoyed with this guy by this point.
Speaking of deaths, right? The submarine scene, you were talking about it before. We got very close to talking about this. Like when he takes off his suit because it rips, or he can't. Sorry, that's wrong. The escaping the submarine.
Yeah.
In that fabulous scene, Tom Cruise realizes the only way out is out, but through one of the torpedo chutes. Which is hilarious.
Title of your sex tape,
to begin with. And he takes off his whole suit because he can't fit in with the backpack on, which is keeping him from getting the bends when he comes back up. He dies like immediately, right? Like he freezes to death, or at least gets hypothermia. And
there's a number of ways he dies there. Yeah, he's not surviving that.
Right? That was the bit that I can suspend my disbelief for these movies. This is the one franchise I think that I totally turn my brain off and go, I'm in. Like, let's do this. That bit, I was just like, no.
Not only are they built it up so much,
right?
Like that, like you need this special nitrogen that we've crafted. Like okay, then he definitely would die. Like, if you need like a special nitrogen to even have this even maybe be a thing, if he has nothing and no clothes, he's dead. Because like Ethan's not a superhuman. He's still a 40-year-old fucking 50-year-old dude. Like 60. he's not like genetically engineered to be, you know what I mean? Like there's no way to justify that in your head.
At very least, he's losing some appendages, right? Like his dick's falling off without question. Like we're back to Ethan Hunt's dick again. I don't know how we got here, but we're back at right. He's dead to me. And I feel like there's no writing around that. He's just dead. Like similarly, R.I.P. Luther, he actually died in this. That was a shame. I liked his character.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. R.I.P. Luth dog.
One thing I did want to talk about was some sort of maybe dropped plot lines.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so the last movie set up Benji to be potential. Like I
don't really remember this, but I believe you.
So in the last film, Benji got cornered by the entity, and he had to do a puzzle in which the last bit, basically to give the entity information about Benji they didn't have. And all of it was trying to show that he could be manipulated by the thing to do his duty or save his friends. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That was set up beautifully for Benji to have been turned or to be been taken on a trip by the entity to maybe go against Ethan in some way. And then it just didn't happen. They just dropped that entire plot line. And I was actually upset by that. I thought there could be like a double cross happening where the entity thought Benji was doing its bidding, or Benji ends up, like going against it. There was something there that they could have done.
Yeah.
Just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was sad. I was like, it could be, Don't kill Luther. Luther's great. Don't kill Luther. Kill Benji. Let it be Benji who makes a sacrifice so the team can get away because he is working quotation marks for the entity. I don't know, man. Like,
or because of his guilt.
they missed. Yeah, right. They missed a thing there. They missed a trick, and I was sad.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
They almost had some good storytelling. Very close. So
Yeah.
close.
I think that's fair. It's a fair criticism.
Any other spoilers before we quickly finish up?
I'm looking at my notes here. I don't know that there was a bunch more.
I think I'm just ready for a smaller scale movie. Like no shade to this. Again, had a lot of fun with it. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, Gabriel dies by like ball splitting and then head splitting.
Oh my god! I totally forgot they went full Hot Shots on this.
I
Do you
didn't
remember
even know.
Hot Shots
I
with
don't know.
Charlie Sheen?
No.
It is literally the dumbest shit. Like, I'm going to send you a link of it. So
Okay.
in Hot Shots, the main character, Topper Harley, the whole film is like a parody of Top Gun with some extra bits thrown in, which are hilarious.
Okay.
His dad falls off a crashing plane and does the same thing. His balls go directly into the end. I was like, this because become the parody it was always meant to. I was like,
it's like it's full circle. Yeah, I think like there's just a lot of stuff where it's just like spoilers, but like they are in planes and they're like, I don't even know if it is spoilers, but it's like 30 minutes of that where they're literally like one point he's just like flying like this under him and Gabriel's like nothing's wrong, and it's like
where is he?
Like it's like clearly you would know he was below you and they're just doing this for the stunt, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, was a bit much. Like at the end when like they find Ethan and they give him, and he's successful, right? And they give him like the toasted entity, and the other guy comes up to him and points the gun at him and then turns it around into a handshake. It's like, you wouldn't do that. It's just so extra, so movie.
Of course.
So there's that kind of stuff that I couldn't talk about before because it was a spoiler.
That was I mean, that was a nice that was again a callback to the first movie. John Voight's character.
Yeah.
That's apparently his son. I was like, okay.
Why?
I guess.
Had nothing, no need. Yeah, that was overkill.
They kind of looked similar.
I didn't still overkill.
I didn't mind it. I didn't need it. Like it's just one more extra thing to think about in this film. Do you want to do a little bit of trivia, true or false to wrap up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Trivia, true or false deal. Haley Atwell was 8.5 months pregnant when she shot a fight scene for the movie. Is that true or is that false?
False. 8.5 months.
It's actually true. I find it really hard to believe, but yeah, she was. There was one part of the movie when I saw it and I was like,
she looks pregnant.
I didn't think that, but you know when her face wasn't as I don't know what to say here. I'm not going to add this any good in anyway, but yeah.
Good
I was like, there you go. All right. Trivia true, trivia false deal.
Yeah.
Further returning characters actually killed off in Mission Impossible 1, including Jean Reno's Krieger, who initially worked into the script. The crews nixed the idea as the deaths of teammates were seen as pivotal to the mistrust harbored in the film. Is that true or is that false?
That feels true.
That was very false. I just made that up. I picked out Jean Reno as Krieger, who I love, by the way.
I didn't even remember who that was, but I just thought the message made sense.
I'm trying to fucking remember who he was now, and I can't remember off the top of my head. He was in Leon, the Professional. That's the movie I'm trying to think of. Great fecking movie. Okay, good. I got you. Haha, you fell into my trap. Trivia, true, trivia, false. And this is the most true trivia, trivia, false you'll ever hear in your entire life, by the way. The opening credit sequence doesn't appear until 23 minutes into the movie.
No, I think it is
true. We talked about it.
I think it is true.
It is. That's what I mean. It is true. That's wild. 23 minutes of movie. That really sets the pace for this whole film.
They always do that with these movies, though. It's always like a late credit.
23 minutes, though.
Yeah, no,
it's like, I don't know.
It's still above average usually, but this is particularly offensive.
Particularly long. Okay, trivia, true, trivia, false. The final one, DL. Just as a memory before we get to it, there is a pivotal scene where the president hands a piece of paper with a specific date on it to remind one of her admirals of a date of vast importance.
May 22nd, something.
1996. Yeah. That date is actually the release date of the first Mission Impossible movie. Is that true or is that false?
True.
It is true. I actually really like that. I like that they did a nice little wraparound for that one. For the one thing that was fun. Ultimately, I don't know why I still like these movies. They just they switch your brain off. Great action, fun world to come back to. We've talked about it. It's a good franchise, and I hope Tom Cruise does it until he actually kills himself, falling backwards off a plane into his dick.
I think he's gonna die doing this shit.
I
honestly do believe that.
One day. Yeah. We can only pray. Well, thank you. Thank
I don't know if I'm praying for it, but I'm just saying I think it should happen.
We really appreciate you, and we appreciate you sticking all the way to this point. If you have, DL, do you want to wrap up the show?
A big thank you to Matthew Bliss for editing and mastering this week's episode.
Legend.
If you'd like to have Matt be a part of your podcasting team, get in touch at
As you should.
mbpod.com or business at mbpod.com via email. Yeah, and he's also got a podcast, Coffee with the Podcaster. He's making some changes to that, but short pieces on topics of podcasting shared over a cup of coffee.
Again, wholesome, interesting content.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So enjoy that.
Solid stuff. And while you're there looking at other people's podcasts, before you jump off, why not give us a 5-star review? We'd love it if you do. It really helps us, keeps the lights on, keeps us going, keeps us wanting to give you this chef's kiss, just amazing content about Tom Cruise's dick that we do almost every week apparently now, which is going to come back. It's now a running joke. Who would have guessed? And if you would, you know someone who likes this type of nonsense, give them the gift of Podcast Assemble. Pass it on. Send them to our social media. Send them to here. We are at Podcast Assemble or thepodcastassemble@gmail.com. We love you. We appreciate you. DL.
Yes.
Tally ho.
Tally ho. Later, skaters.
Tally ho.
Until next time, boys and girls.
Goodbye.